8 months later, this attack was followed up by a systematic campaign of destruction from Italian bases, carried on over a period of 5 months, and reduced production at Ploesti to 7% of its normal capacity. With the loss of Ploesti, the synthetic oil plants in the Ruhr in central Germany and in Hamburg became critical. In May 1944, these were made primary targets. The synthetic oil plant at Leuna was the objective of 22 strategic attacks planned to deny oil to the German armed forces. During the whole period between the first attack on 12 May 1944 and the last attack on 4 April 1945, the average daily production of the plant was only 9 or 10% of normal. However, by planning top priority and manpower and equipment, plants that had been knocked out completely were brought back into production in relatively few weeks, thus necessitating renewed attacks. All during the heavy bombing raids, a rapid rate of recuperation was achieved, and in general, repeated air attacks rather than the severity of any single raid gradually resulted in the almost complete breakdown of German oil production. The military consequences of the oil attacks were immediate. The shortage of available fuel necessitated a severe cut in daily sorties by the Luftwaffe, and gasoline allocations for the army decreased steadily.
The enemy has succeeded in increasing our losses of aviation gasoline up to 90%.
Those were the words of Reichsminister Speer, Tsar of all German production, in a letter to Hitler dated 30 June 1944. Von Rundstedt, too, admitted that lack of fuel was a major factor in the defeat of Nazi armies in the December Ardennes offensive. In effect, the oil campaign proved to be the most immediately catastrophic for all German hopes. The home front sent us more bombers and fighters, and more well-trained pilots, and our fleets grew mightier by the month. But the enemy first-line operational strength, maintained and increased numerically, was thrown into the breach in a desperate effort to stem the air offensive. Our fighters were ordered to seek the enemy instead of waiting for him, and above all, to follow him to his destruction. A gigantic fighter battle raged across the European skies, with victories by our fighters alone of 60, 85, and over 100 enemy aircraft destroyed each day. It was a crucial battle, both sides fighting hard, with air domination itself at stake. This time it was decisive. The Luftwaffe disappeared from the skies, and the day arrived when a huge bomber mission with full fighter escort flew a round trip to Berlin without challenge by a single enemy fighter.